So in the propaganda for this class, I talked about the number one emotion that causes people to buy, especially in the information marketing world. And no one really talks about this. Probably because no one's enough of an obsessive compulsive weirdo to sit around and analyze everything and figure it out. But fortunately for you, I am that much of a weirdo. All right, so this number one emotion that causes people to buy is called positive expectancy. And this is a big one. Hopefully I can spell it properly. Spelling and cameras just really don't go hand in hand. I think that's right. Does that look good to you? All right?
I don't know.
Well, neither one of us know, but maybe it looks good to you. All right, so positive expectancy. Now here's what that means. What positive expectancy is when your prospect sees something and says, you know what? I see how that would work. I see that I could do that. And they don't necessarily say to themselves, I'm going to go out and do that tomorrow, but internally they say, all right, that could work. That makes sense to me. And therefore they have this positive expectancy that they can do it, that it can work. And I learned this when I first started teaching the underachiever method back in 2003 or 4. I think with my main man, Easy Ed Dale, the Australian dynamo. Delightful little man. I'm sure you all know and love Easy E. Here's what we learned. I would be on stage and I would be teaching people about my parrot site. So if you're not familiar with the story, I'll give you the really brief version of the story. Years ago, I had a website, internet marketing related website called Cashflow Circle. And I had it with my friend Sean Casey. And it got to be really big. I think it was the biggest membership site ever of its time back then. Of course, we've eclipsed it many times now in these days. But back in like 2003, when I had the site, it was doing about $100,000 a month. We had 1,000 something people at $97 a month, and we thought we were the killer, right? We were like, man, we are so badass. And then this dude writes in, and he's like, listen, I think you're full of shit. Because how do I know you've ever sold anything else online other than stuff about how to make money online? And the ugly truth was I never had sold anything else online. So I was like, oh no, maybe I am full of shit. I'd better get my act together and try to sell something else online that has nothing to do with making money in a market where they don't know me, just to prove this guy wrong. He didn't publicly say this, by the way. It was just an email to me, but it bothered me because I didn't want to be full of shit. You know, like, what if the stuff I was teaching didn't really work? I wanted to really make sure that it worked. So I went out and for some weird reason, I was listening to some really, really old mail order tapes from the 90s. And these were tapes, cassette tapes, from the 90s about how to have a mail order business. And it was a seminar, recording of a seminar put on by Jeff Paul, who you probably know. Jeff was an early mentor of mine through his materials. You know, I never got to really hang out with him personally, but I read his books and they had a really big impact on me. So I'm listening to Jeff's stuff, and there's this dude in the audience, and he's like, yeah, I've got this product about parrots, and I'm selling this book for $300 to people who own parrots and who want to teach their parrots to talk. And the way I'm selling it is I'm putting these little direct response ads in like parrot magazines and stuff. And then, you know, they call the 800 number because this is before the web really took off. They'd call the 800 number for the free report on parrots. And then the dude would mail them 8 billion sales letters until they bought something, right? So I was like, damn, you know, I'll bet that you could probably sell a similar parrot thing on the internet, right? So then what I did was I said, well, gosh, all right, how would we determine whether or not that would sell? So I went to the Yahoo keyword finder thingy, which now you can't really use it anymore. So you have to use Google's. Yahoo's not open to the public, but Google keyword tool will work just as well. And I typed in the word parrot, and I discovered that 70,000 people a month were searching for the word parrot. And I was like, okay, well, how do I get my stuff in front of these 70,000 people? So then I said, well, shit, all I got to do is buy PPC ads on like keywords like parrot. So I see the 70,000, so I'll draw it out for you. So I got my 70,000 people here. They want this outcome, right, which is the talking bird. I'll just put B here, right? And in the middle, they're all searching on Google and Yahoo. And they're seeing these are the little Google AdWords ads and the Yahoo ads, right? So I knew that in order to reach these people and help them get to this destination, all I had to do was have them come, click on my site over here, buy from me, and then they'd have it, right? So the formula is really basic. Look at the keyword tool, see how many people are searching for stuff, and then go buy ads under those keywords and send them to a website that sells the very stuff they're looking for. Super basic, all right? But when I revealed that stuff, see, it wasn't super basic to all the beginner people that we were dealing with back in 2003 and 4 when we taught Underachiever. So what happened is they were like, you know what, dude? They would watch my pitch, and then they would go and get on their computer and type in like baseball or whatever, and they'd see like a couple 100,000 people searching for baseball or whatever their hobby was, and they go, damn, this is really true. I can see here by typing in this baseball stuff that 100,000 people are searching for baseball, and I can see there's people advertising under these things. All I got to do is stick my ad here, and I'll get traffic to my website. That's the damnedest thing I ever saw. Now that right there created a sense of positive expectancy in the marketplace. Even if they didn't go out and like build a website and sell the baseball product or the parrot product or the dog product or whatever, they realized by watching me show them how it was done, they realized that they could do it, right? So they said, wow, this can work. I can see how this can work. And that created the positive expectancy, which then I didn't really realize what a huge deal that was. I knew I was onto something because the parrot story got told a gazillion times. Incidentally, I did create a parrot site. It was called yourparrotwilltalk.com, and it was making like $3,500 a month when I was telling this story. Right? Now, once I told the story, everybody copied it, and then it started making nothing, which is good. At least people took action. Didn't really help my bottom line very much, but what do I care, right? It was only $3,500 a month. But that's the point. The positive expectancy is generated by showing them how something is done and by demonstrating that they can get the results. Even if they don't have to go out and actually get the results. They just have to mentally see themselves doing it. You show them a clear, realistic roadmap. And it wasn't until years later that I discovered the ultimate strategy for generating positive expectancy, and that is results in advance. And if you've heard me talk about this before, you still need to watch this video because this is probably the most powerful thing I could ever show you, right? This results in advance is the secret, the number one secret to why I'm very successful online. And it's all about doing people super, super right. So I'm going to walk you through it now in the next video.